Hello friends, myself Professor Sudeep Shah. You all are welcome to the Nauka Digital Institute. In today's session, we are going to solve the revision test paper issued by the ICAI for the May 21 attempt. Yes, this is a very interesting revision test paper issued by the ICAI, and it is always become helpful in the preparation of the final exam to the foundation students, and that is for the paper 1, and that is principle and practices of accounting. So friends, here we are going to discuss all the aspects of the different topics, and that is in the revision test paper that is issued by the ICAI. Starting with the first sum, friends, you will always find the first question compulsory in the examination, and in which you will find some 6 true and false, each of 2 marks. Will give you a 12 marks easily, but be careful, you have to not just answer true or false, you need to support your answer with all reasons, and that what we are going to start with. The number 1, question 1, that is based on true and false. State with the reason whether the following statement are true and false. True or false? Yes. Gauri purchased goods of 75,800 at 5% discount, and she paid half of the amount in cash. The amount appearing in the purchase book is 36005. Yes, you all are aware with the fact that the trade discount is never become a part of the books. So we need to calculate the same, but we should not put into the books. So if you deduct 7500 with 5%, and if you deduct divide it with the 2, you will always get 36,005. So yes, this is the true statement. Yes, the trade discount is deducted from the value, and amount paid in cash includes cash purchase, and only the credit purchase will be shown in the purchase book. So if we deduct the 5%, that is 75,800, and 5% of the same, if we deduct the same deducted with 5%, we will get 72010, and if we divided it by the 2, we will get 36005. So here the point is very clear that yes, the question is raising the statement that the amount appearing in the purchase book, as half the amount is paid, so remaining half is a credit purchase, and credit purchase is always a part of the purchase book. So it's a yes, it's a true statement. So this is going to be a true, right, and nothing is wrong in the same. Next, all the personal real accounts are recorded in P&L. Yes, this is the foundation, friends. You need to keep these things very clear, and in the foundation you will always ask the question which is the fundamental questions, and that you always keep an eye on. So yes, all the personal and real accounts are recorded in P&L. Yes, this is a wrong statement. The reason, yes, there may be a recording of real, but the personal accounts are part of the balance sheet, so it is not a true statement. So your answer will be definitely a false statement. Amount spent on replacement of worn out part of the machine is a capital expenditure. No, friends, the amount spent on the replacement of worn out part will not increase the efficiency of the business, and it is just a replacement of the worn out part. So this is not going to be a capital, it will not increase the earning capacity or efficiency. So it is not termed to be a capital expenditure, but definitely a revenue expenditure. When closing inventory is overstated, net income of the accounting period will be understated. No, friends, if you know the perform of trading account, you will always see that the closing inventory will be a part of the credit side, and if it is overstated, if I explain you with example, then it will become more clear to you. This is the trading account, specimen of trading account. This is the particulars. For example, opening stock 5 lakh, purchase 20 lakhs, sales say 28 lakhs, and closing stock say 3 lakhs. So you can see that the total on the credit side is 31 lakhs, and if we deduct with the debit side, we will get 6 lakh GP. This is the gross profit. Now if you read the question, it is clearly written that when the closing inventory is overstated, the income of the accounting period will be understated? No, there is a direct relationship with the closing stock and the gross profit. So instead of 3 lakhs, if we overstate with 3,50,000, so definitely our total will also increase by 50,000. Here also it will be 31,50,000. So this answer will replace with the 6,50,000 instead of 6 lakhs. So you can see that if you increase or if you overstate the closing inventory, it will also result into a income rising, and that is what we can conclude by preparing the specimen trading account. So yes, this statement is also wrong. If the inventory is overstated, then income is also overstated in that cases. Next, the additional commission to the consignee who agrees to bear the loss on account of bad debt is called overriding commission. No, friends, additional commission to the consignee who agrees to bear the loss on account of bad debts is not a overriding commission. Overriding commission is nothing but the amount which is realized over and above the invoice price will be considered for the same. So this is also a wrong statement. Goodwill is an intangible asset, therefore it cannot be valued. It's absolutely wrong, friends. You will always find a topic that is of valuation of goodwill even in the CA inter and CA final level, where such intangible assets also fetch the value and it can also become the part of the books. Even in your calculation of purchase consideration, if it is more than net asset, we will differentiate it with the goodwill. So goodwill is always a part of the books, though it's a intangible. Interest on calls in arrears payable by the company to the shareholders. No, friends, if the calls in arrears that is initiated by the shareholders, then they are liable to pay the interest to the company, and it's an income for the company. So it is the fact that such interests are liable to be paid by the shareholders to the company and not by the company to the shareholders. Many times, friends, students have a good clarity about the answer of the same, but if they do not read it properly, they also commit a mistake. So we need to keep a good eye that we should not misunderstand the question. Next, outstanding salaries for the previous year shall be shown as a liability in the current year balance sheet. So outstanding salary of the previous year shall be shown as a liability of the current year balance sheet. This is also wrong, friends. Outstanding salaries of the previous year shall be shown in the liability in that balance sheet only and not of the current year's balance sheet. It is considered that any salary paid in the current year is first of all adjusted with the outstanding liability or outstanding salary of the previous year. Next, debenture holders enjoy the voting rights in the company. This is also wrong, as the debenture holders are not the real owners of the company and they do not get any voting rights. So this is also wrong. Only equity shareholders will get such right, and that is what you always keep in mind. So here you can see that out of these all 6, 7, 8, 9 true and false, only first one is the true. All other are considered to be a false, and we need to explain it with the reasons. Next, distinguish between the money measurement concept and matching concept. Friends, it's very simple. In the money measurement concept, only those transactions and events are recorded which are having a monetary value. And in the matching concept, it's very clear the income of the period should be compared with the expense incurred in that period only. And if I become more specific, then revenue income of a period should be compared with the revenue expense of that period only. So it is not a similar, that is money measurement and matching concept. If we discuss in detail, as per the money measurement concept, only those transactions which can be measured in terms of money are recorded. Since money is the medium of exchange and the standard economic value, this concept requires that those transactions alone that are capable of being measured in terms of money be only recorded in the books of accounts. For example, death of Dhirubhai Ambani will always affect the Reliance industry, but as it is not measurable in terms of money, we cannot record the same. Even the efficiency of the managers, which also give a positive boost in the company's earning, but if it is not measurable, we cannot record the same. So transaction and events that cannot be expressed in terms of money are not recorded in the business books. This is the heart of the money measurement concept. On the other hand, friends, matching concept, all expenses matched with the revenue of that period should be taken into consideration. For example, if we write the sales, then it must be matched with the purchases of that period. If we write the incomes, then all the expenses incurred to generate such income is also part of such expenses. Even the purchase expenses are also matched with the revenue. So it's a very simple, revenue should be matched with the expenses, or revenue income should be matched with the revenue expenses. That is the idea behind the matching concept. Okay, in the financial statement of the organization, if revenue is recognized, then expense related to on that revenue should also be recognized, and that is the idea behind the matching concept. So that is a very clear distinction, friends. You can write in the short note form, yeah, that is the difference between the money measurement and matching, but you should include such standard words, that is all the events and transactions which are having a monetary value are only recorded. In case of matching, all the expenses incurred to generate the revenue should be matched with each other. So if you write in a standardized language with good clarity, you will definitely fetch a good marks. So this is the question 2A. Now we move to the question 2B, where we need to just pass the journal entries. Yes, this is the sum based on the journal entries. First of all, employee had taken the stock of 25,000, cost is 22,500 on the eve of Deepavali. The same was deducted from their salaries in the subsequent months. So it's a very simple, friends. When any stock withdrawn by the employee, it is always recorded at the cost price, and for which the salaries account will be debited. Yes, I think we have skipped one question. Yes, that is the B part. Change in accounting policy may have a material effect on the items of the financial statement. Explain the statement with the help of an example. Yes, if you follow the FIFO now, if you shift to the LIFO, it will definitely change the profitability of the business, even the performance of the business as well as position of the business will affect it. So you need to disclose the same. So change in the accounting policy may have a material effect on the items of the financial statement. For example, cost formula used for inventory valuation is changed from weighted average to FIFO. Unless the effect of such changes in accounting policy is quantified, the financial statement may not help the user of the account. So this is to be a part of the same. Okay, we were discussing the journal entry. It's a very simple, friends. Salary accounts debit to purchase, but be careful, it is always on the cost price. Second, wages paid for erection of machinery is always considered as a capital expenditure and debited to machinery account only. Be careful, it's a part of its put to use. So many times students commit a mistake of debiting the erection charges, but yes, the machinery account will be debited for the same. Income tax liability of the proprietor 3,400 has been paid out of the petty cash. So naturally, friends, petty cash will be credited and it's a personal expense. So drawings account will be debited over here. Yes, drawing account debit to petty cash, and that will be a part of the amount paid from the petty cash. So it will be credited with the petty cash. The last one is very simple. Purchase goods from Naveen of the list price 20,000. He allowed 10% trade discount, so now it is 18,000, and 500 cash discount was allowed for a quick payment. So we consider full payment is made over here. So our answer is very simple. Purchase account debit deducted with the trade discount, credited with the all amounts paid, that is 17,500, and yes, the discount which is given to the given to us by the supplier will be considered as a discount received, rather cash discount received. So here we need to consider it is as a income. So this is the journal entry, friends, that we need to keep in mind, and that is now we are done with the question number 3A. Now we are moving to the question number 3B. Inauguration expense of the new manufacturing unit in an existing business. So it will not increase any efficiency or earning capacity of the business, friends. So it is considered to be a revenue expenditure, definitely. Number 2, installation of new central heating system. Yes, it will result into creation of asset, increase the efficiency of assets. So it is considered to be a capital expenditure. Repainting of a delivery van. Yes, This is also nothing rise into the earning capacity or creation of asset. So this is again the revenue expenditure. Providing drainage for a new piece of water extraction equipment. Yes, this is a new piece and this is required for its working. So it's a part of the put to use. So we'll consider to be a capital expenditure. Yes, that is always a capital expenditure which is a part of its put to use. Legal fees on the acquisition of land. Once again, as I've explained you, any expense at the time of purchase of new asset is always a part of the capital expenditure, and so it is considered as a capital expenditure. Carriage cost and replacement part of the piece of machinery is revenue, as it will not increase any efficiency or earning capacity, or it cannot give the benefit for a long term. Here we need to focus on the carriage cost, and that is to be written off in the P&L or trading account. So this is the revenue expenditure. So friends, this is the question number 3, where you will find the theory almost and journal entries. Be careful friend, this is the foundation and all the questions which will always check your basic knowledge of accounting is the precondition in this particular level of chartered accountancy. Yes, so now we are starting with the cash book, and the question is very simple. Prepare a triple column cash book from the following transaction and bring down the balance. Yes, that is to the next of start of the next month. If we read, opening cash in hand, cash at bank, paid amount into the bank, brought furniture and issued check for the same, purchased goods for cash, received cash from Mohan and discount allowed to him is 40, cash sales, paid to Amar by check, discount received, paid into bank 1000, withdrawn from bank for a private expense, that is 1200, received check from Parul, allowed discount, deposited Parul's check into the bank, yes, which we have received in the earlier transaction, and the paid rent by check. So here we need to prepare the 3 column cash book. So if we start with the opening balance that is given in a question, that is 6,000 and 24,000. Now first one, that is the amount which is deposited into the bank. So cash will be credited and bank will be debited, and most interesting, it's a contra entry that you need to denote it with the C. On the debit side, all the amount which we have received, yes, the amount which we have received from the sale, Sapna, again the cash sales, again here again the cash is deposited, here we will find the contra entry again. Yes, amount which is received from Parul, again a contra entry, and this is the amount which is withdrawn from the bank. So you will find the 4 contra entries over here, and every contra entry must be denoted with the C. Okay, on the other side, the payments if we have made, that is for the purchase of furniture, and cash purchase, payments made to Amar with the discount of 100, drawings made by the proprietor, and the rent is paid. So we can see that the balancing figure, that is 17960 in the cash column and 17160 in the bank column. So this is a very simple, but be careful, you need to pass the contra entry, and it must be denoted with the C, so that we can judge it's a contra entry. Okay, discount allowed and discount received, 80 and 100 respectively, should be posted in respective accounts in the ledger. Yes, here it is discount allowed and here it is discount received. The discount allowed will be debited 80 and discount received will be credited in the discount received column ledger. When check is not promptly present into bank, first it is entered into the cash column. Be careful, when check is received and it is not directly deposited in the bank in the same day, so it is treated as a cash, and subsequently at the time of deposit, bank account is debited and cash account will be credited for the same. Okay, so this is a very simple sum on the cash book. Now a very interesting sum, that is on the rectification of error. So this is the question number 4B. Write out the journal entries to rectify the following errors using the suspense account. Goods of the value of 5,000 written by Mr. Sharma were entered in the sales day book and posted therefrom to the credit of his account. Be careful, 5,000 goods which is written by Sharma. So our entry should be yes, Sharma account credited and sales written account will be debited. Were entered in the sales day book. Instead of sales written day book, it is entered into the sales day book and posted therefrom to the credit of his account. Yes, the credit part is right, but we have wrongly debited the sales account, so we need to credit the yes, we need to wrongly credited the sales account. We need to debit the sales account. We need to actually debit the sales return account, and it is transferred to the suspense account. The reason the name of the party is not included in this journal entry, the reason is it is properly credited to his account of Mr. Sharma. So no error in that particular aspect. Next, an amount of 7,500 entered in the sales return book has been posted to the debit of Hari, who returned the goods. So entry of the sales return is very simple, friends. Sales return account debit to Hari account. That is the amount which is given in a question is 7,500. So here the first part is correctly entered. That is sales return account is sales return book is properly recorded the entry, and the wrong entry is Hari should be credited, which is wrongly debited. So we need to give the double credit, and that is 15,000, 7,500 for the correct one and 7,500 to reverse the wrong, and Hari account will be credited. And as it is connected with the suspense account, the reason it will not allow the trial balance to get agree, and so that suspense account will comes into the picture. Next, a sale of 20,000 made to Amit was correctly entered in the sales day book, but wrongly posted to the debit of Sumit account as 2,000. So here there is a 3 mistake. Number 1, sale of 20,000 made to Amit. The correct entry will be Amit account debit to sales account. This should be the correct entry, 20,000. Here Amit was correctly entered in the sales day book, yes, but wrongly posted to the debit of Sumit as 2,000. So Sumit is wrongly debited, so we need to credit the same, that is with the 2,000, and the difference amount will be transferred to the suspense account. So you can see that Amit is debited now and Sumit is credited, and the difference amount will be transferred to the suspense account. Here we have not debited the Amit account for the sales initiated by us, so we need to debit the same. Sumit is wrongly debited, so we need to credit the same, and the difference is always a part of the suspense account, as it will not allow the trial balance to get agree, so it will be credited into the suspense account. Next one, bad debts aggregating 50,000 were written off during the year in the sales ledger, but were not adjusted in the general ledger. This is very interesting, friends. Students commit a mistake over here only. Bad debts aggregating 15,000 were written off, so it is always written off with the debtors account during the year in the sales ledger, but sales ledger, that is nothing but the debtors ledger, but were not adjusted in the general ledger. So that is the apart from debtors and creditors, there is a general ledger, so we need to debit the bad debts as it is not debited in the general ledger. General ledger is nothing but the ledger apart from debtors and creditors, so we need to pass the bad debts account. The credit debtors account will not be credited. The reason, it is clearly written that it is properly entered into the sales ledger. Yes, it is entered into the sales ledger with no correction required. In that case it is done properly, but yes, it is not adjusted in general ledger. In other words, the bad debts account is not emerged, so we need to debit the bad debts account and credit it to the suspense account, as the difference is always posted into the suspense account. Next, the total of discount column in the cash book for the month of September 2020 amounted to 12,400 was not posted. Many a time what I observed in the classroom teaching, students don't have a clarity about how to post the cash book, specifically discount columns. So if I give you the explanation for the same, when you find a triple column cash book, there is always a 3 column. One is for cash, second is for bank, and third is for discount. We know that cash and bank column itself a cash and bank account, so no need to have a posting for the same. But yes, there is always a error, chances of error for the posting of the discount column, and that we always must know the same. So if I give you the idea how to post the discount column, then it can be like this. This is the cash book. I should say it's a triple column cash book. Particulars, cash bank discount, particulars, cash bank discount. See friends, whenever you find the cash received, and that is always from the data, you give the discount, say 50 to X, 100 to Y, again 50 to Z. The same way, when you make the payment to the creditors, you will get the discount. For example, 80, 220. You know that friends, these columns are never account. Yes, cash column is an account. Yes, bank column is an itself account. Yes, these both are accounts. So we always find the balance of the same. You always find a cash account have a debit balance, but in the bank you may have a credit or debit balance both, as there can be a bank balance or bank overdraft. But here the discount column is always having a total and never be the balance, as they are not the account. So this is nothing but the discount allowed, as it's on the debit side, and this is nothing but the discount received. So how to post the same? Discount allowed is always a part of the debtors account, and discount received is always the part of the creditors account. So we need to prepare both the account, debtors account and creditors account. So this is having the effect on the debtors account as well as creditors account. So all the total of discount allowed will be posted on the credit side. Will be posted on the credit side of the debtors account, and that is by discount allowed, and that is 200. In the same way, discount received will always reduce the creditors, so it will be posted always on the debit side to discount received, and that is 300. So be careful, the total of debit side of discount column is nothing but the discount allowed, which will be on the credits of the debtors account, and all the total of the discount received, that is on the credit side, will be always a part of the debit side of the creditors account. Apart from that, we also need to know the other two accounts, that is discount allowed account as well as discount received account. Okay, so this is discount allowed account, this is discount received account. So as it is debited, here it is, as it is credited, here it is debited to sundry debtors, the same amount 200, here on the credit side by sundry creditors, and the amount will be 300. So you can see that there is a opposite entries on both the sides. Here it is credited, so in the debtors account it is debited, here it is debited, so in the creditors account it is credited. So friends, you need to have a good clarity about this aspect, and that is always to be keep in mind. What I observed, students always commit a mistake in posting the same. So you should always know that debtors account have always credited the discount allowed, creditors account always debited the discount received, and the other entry in the respective discount allowed and discount received account on the debit side of discount allowed account and on the credit side of the discount received account, with the words on the discount allowed, that is to sundry debtors, and on the discount received by sundry creditors. So friends, this is what you need to always keep in mind, and this is the question, that the total of discount allowed column in the cash book of the month of September amounting 12,500 was not posted. So now it is very clear that if it is not posted, then you have to pass the entry discount allowed account debit to suspense account. So there is always question, sir, why not into the debtors account credit side? If you read the question, you need to know that discount allowed column on the cash book for the month of September 2020 amount to 12,500 was not posted. So here it is not posted into the discount allowed account only, but yes, it is credited into the respective debtors account when you pass the entry for the same. So when you pass the entry, and that is yes, for the in the books of X, Y and Z, you always pass that respective credit entry. In the books of A, B, C, you always already pass the debit entry. So this aspect is already covered. We need to focus on this particular aspect in this rectification as it is mentioned in the question. So friends, this is always a very important, that what part is already done and what need to be rectified, that we always keep understanding the same. That is always a question in the mind of the student, that is regarding which part is covered and which part is not covered. But here it is very simple, that debtors creditors entry has been posted, but only problem in the discount allowed and discount received column. So here it is discount allowed account debit to suspense account.